What is going on, guys? It's your dude Shopmaster back with another Game Changers live show. And guys, I'm so excited for you to be joining me today. First and foremost, big shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Come in early to talk some Madden NFL 18, to talk some NBA Live 18. Just a few things before we get started with the topics. I always do this, but I definitely want to give a shout out to all the subs. But if you are not a sub, but you want to win a free copy of Madden NFL 18 or NBA Live 18, it's real easy. All you got to do is stick that like button, subscribe to the channel, and by you just making a comment in here, I'm gonna pick 10 guys from the comment section in this video alone after my stream, and they will be put in both drawings for NBA Live 18 and Madden 18. So guys, it's that simple, but you got to be a subscriber. Like that's one of the rules. You have to join Shop Nation and be a subscriber. So appreciate all of those who definitely continue to support my stream, my channel, my vision. Those who support the CFM movement, those who have been riding with NBA Live 18 for the longest. I'm real excited about Live 18. I mean, I think we are almost there. August 11th, which they haven't confirmed that that's the demo date yet, but I feel like that's gonna be the demo date. I feel like the demo date is gonna be August 11th. Again, it hasn't been confirmed, but I can't wait. It's gonna be in August. So August is a big month. I mean, if you take that, let's say the demo for NBA Live 18 comes out August 11th, you only got 6 more days before you can get 10 hours of access to Madden NFL 18 via EA access. So man, we got a good August. This is going to be a great August with NBA Live 18 demo and then Madden NFL 18. Big shout out to those in the house. I see my man Clutch Master, Antonio Carter. Antonio, I hope you got my email today. We got Orlando in the house. Raw Dial is in the house. Brooklyn Bully. We got even Sim Football. My man Sim Football Critic is in the house today. What's up, man? Appreciate you showing all your love and support, guys. If you don't follow Sim Football Critic on Twitter, go ahead and give him a follow right now. Also, make sure you check out his show, the Sim Standard Show, that comes on every Thursday night. But follow him on Twitter so you can get all the updates for that. He has a great show. Him and Smitty and Azur do an awesome job. So big shout out to them. So let's go ahead and talk about it. I mean, we got 23 days now. 23 days until Madden NFL 17. I mean 18. I'm thinking 17 because August 17th is my birthday. So, but we got 23 days until you can get your first hands on Madden NFL 18. And I just want to know, like, you only get 10 hours from EA access. What are you going to do in those 10 hours? What's the first thing you're going to do? Because I almost feel like you can't just jump in and go and look at all the playbooks and stuff and see, let me see which playbook I like. Dude, that's going to take time. And I just don't think you got that time. Like, I would rather just jump into practice mode or game. I wouldn't even I guess you could jump into practice mode, but you gotta jump in and play. 10 hours is going to go by like that. Believe me when I tell you, 10 hours is going to go by so fast. You cannot waste it. And I won't say it's a waste, because a lot of people, make sure that they have their playbook already set. My man Raw say one of the first things he's gonna do is start up his CFM. So you know what? I agree. You know, some people feel like they need to start their CFM right now because they don't want their name taken, or they want to start as soon as everybody has it. So, and we'll talk about sort of that startup process a little later. If you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I put out a video today. I'm doing a series called "This is How Madden CFM Should Be," and it's based on Deuce Douglas's article. But in today's video that I released this morning, I talked about the startup and some of the things that I feel like EA has kind of like just not been on our side with, as far as onboarding stuff for CFM, onboarding or helping commissioners get associated with CFM. So definitely check out that video. Let me know what you think. Looking at all the stuff. So John says a couple of practice games versus CFM friend, and then testing out all the major gameplay differences will take up that 10 hours for me. Now, I wonder how many people are going to go and practice target passing, and how long will you stay in practice mode for target practicing, and will you go back and forth between CFM, I mean not CFM, but between sim games and maybe competitive games, just so you can see the difference. I feel like a lot of people may try that out initially and then go what they feel like they're gonna go for when they start it. But again, guys, 10 hours EA access, it's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough to get everything you want in. I remember when I had EA access last time, I think I got... You got to be prepared. Look, be prepared, get plenty of sleep, and do that. You know the answer to that for me. What are you talking about, Sam? Maybe I missed something. Oh, check out the major differences. Will take up that 10 hours for me, definitely. Raw says, I want to see draft classes and see the draft board. Okay, I can play story mode in the 10 hours and save $60. Okay, I mean, if you're going into story mode like that. Anyone seen that draft board yet? Can you use it if you attend the draft? So I haven't seen the draft board yet. That's definitely something that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, because I've heard a couple of things about it. Right now we know via Rex Dixon that there is no logic behind the draft board. But I feel you, Christopher, because you don't know if the draft board is only for people who are not going to be at the draft. I don't think so. I think the draft board is just going to be exactly what the watch list is, except you'll be able to order it. And I think what the draft board will do is it will allow you to see, okay, what order you put your draft in. And if you don't, let's say even if you're online, but you don't pick, it'll still pick from the draft board. So definitely something I'm going to look at. I don't know if it's going to be the first thing I look at, because you got to, go through it. I just wish they would add the draft class import like NBA 2K and I'd be set, says Dalton. I mean, that definitely would be nice if you could import 2K or import draft class like 2K. Now, a lot of people have been talking about, when if we could edit draft classes, but I don't know if I don't know how they would do the ability to edit draft class, because I think that would give whoever's editing sort of a basis on who is good and who is bad and stuff like that. Let's say EA posting blogs, then removing stuff. I don't know about that. I mean, EA posted some stuff. Like for instance, today, and we'll talk about it. You know, the other day, Clint mentioned. I asked Clint Oldenburg, you know, if you create your CFM in competitive mode, can you turn on injuries? And you can't. And so that sort of got a discussion going. I'll call it that, a discussion going. And I'm happy for, you know, I mean, I'm happy that Clint and Rex actually jumped in the conversation and gave us some details about those particular things. What up, the great one? How you doing, man? All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the gameplay trailer, and take a look at some of the things that I'm pretty sure everybody has seen the trailer. I'm pretty sure if you've ever been to my man Sim Football Critics channel, he breaks down the trailer very good. I'm not a breakdown person. I like to look at the trailer and take away what I take away, but you know, I don't look at people's feet and make sure they're not sliding, because to me, when you have a gameplay trailer, they're gonna make the game look very good. One of the things I really was impressed with was the fact that I actually saw reach tackles like they had where, and we'll see it in the video where the guy reached. They posted the John Ross Speed blog, then they removed it. In fact, I saw, I didn't even see that, Antonio. They did actually put out a, what was his speed, by the way? What was his speed? That's what I want to know. Because I did see that they, and we'll talk about it a little later, as you can see in the lineup, they did sort of do a little bit of the release of rookie ratings. I actually think they're going to release rookie ratings Friday. We'll see. John Ross got 98 speed. Tyreek Hill 97. Brandon Cooks 96. Wow. That's wow. So somebody said, what? No CFM injuries. What mode? I've been missing it. I'll wait till that segment. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Just hang on. 90. I can't believe 98 speed though for John Ross. I mean, he's fast. 98 speed fast though. Brooklyn Bully says, I thought Rex said the Sim guys would come to Orlando mid-July to play Madden. Yeah, I didn't hear that. I know some guys that were brought out to Orlando last week. Yeah, last week. But I don't think they were Sim guys. I actually think it was a Mutt community day. But I could be wrong. I don't know for certain. But I do think it was a Mutt community day. I know there might have been a few CFM guys that actually have seen CFM this year. One of them wasn't me. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. But nothing really has progressed with CFM this year. I mean, they added the draft board. They added, injuries to guys away from the ball, if you want to call that whatchamacallit. Yo, big shout out to VSOP 100 for joining Shop Nation. Appreciate you. So Ross ran a 4.2240. Goodness gracious. You figure he'd be at 99. Now, they couldn't give him a 99. No, I doubt there will be a CFM blog. So guys, the question in the chat right now is, what are the things you are going to do with 10 hours of early EA access to Madden NFL 17? What are the things you are going to do with 10 hours of access, of early access to Madden NFL 17. I mean 18. I'm just tweeting this out because I want people to come in the chat and let me know what they think. When will player ratings release? I don't know. My guess is Friday. That's just my guess. I definitely have been wrong before. So I actually said last week or the week before that the gameplay trailer would come out. But they did it another week. Wow, no CFM blog. Nah, I mean, Brooklyn Bully. What are they going to put in the CFM blog? Yeah, I am stuck on 17 Sam Football Critic. I don't know why. I haven't got 18. I need the disc. I need the 18 disc so it can be a reminder on there. So yeah. Blame long shot. No, I don't blame long shot. I just blame it on this was a year where, yes, marketing wanted long shot. Frostbite engine came into play. What else? NBA Live. They want to get NBA Live's franchise mode up to par with Madden's franchise mode. So, which I actually think that's a 2-year process. So I'm not even sure if EA will do a lot of CFM changes next year for Madden NFL 18 because I still don't know where NBA Live 18 falls as far as franchise is concerned, and I don't know if they're gonna catch up like that. So target practice and CFM looking at who's superstar dev and stuff. That's what Antonio said. Orden said get ready for CFM. Yeah, definitely get ready for CFM. Looking at the draft board. I'm looking at Madden 25 playbooks, missing a lot of plays from there in 17 and probably 18. Now, I do know offensive playbooks have been touched this year. I talked to Anthony White, who's a developer who works on playbooks. That's all he does. Very good at what he does. He loves his X's and O's. But I want to say there's like over 20 new formations in Madden NFL 18, and they're bringing back near and far formations as well. So yeah, Sim Football Critic said it. Rex basically told you guys what to expect from CFM in his interview. He also exactly said why CFM didn't get a huge focus. Shopping, I hate that, but Rex had outlined exactly what's going on. Now I give it to Rex. Yes, he's been very transparent, saying, "Hey, look, our resources went here. You know, we're dealing with this. So, you know, I gave Clint again. I gave Clint applaud earlier today. There was a good discussion going back and forth between me and some other guys, and Clint jumped in. Rex jumped in, said what he had to say. Clint jumped in, continued the conversation. That's my thing. Like, who else does that? Like, what other development company is going to go back and forth with the community to talk about some of the things that they're in? Now, I couldn't do it. Like, if I was getting as much hate as those guys would, I wouldn't be on Twitter, for real. Like, I wouldn't be on Twitter. All right, let's go ahead and talk. Let's go ahead and get into the gameplay trailer and take a look at some of the stuff in the gameplay trailer, and then we'll get to game styles and CFM. So let's make sure I press the right button. All right, so here you have the gameplay trailer, and definitely one of the first things that you gotta say is let's just talk real quick about, you know, the atmosphere. The atmosphere at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of this video. You know, the crowds jumping. I don't know if that's a playoff atmosphere or if that's, you know, Super Bowl atmosphere. I don't think it was a Super Bowl atmosphere because they were at, you know, the Seahawks home But man, the atmosphere looked crazy good. So let's go ahead and take a look at that again. I forgot to set this up so I could sort of interact with it. But you see that right there. You see the smoke. You see the intros. Now the new target passing, I did a video on it, and my video is like really terrible. I try to use Madden 17 and try to give y'all a sort of breakdown of how target passing looks. Make sure you go and take a look at that video. Don't laugh at my graphics or whatever, but I try to give you guys an understanding of how it works, because when people, even after the target passing blog, which we'll look at in a bit, you know, there was still people who were confused about what was going on. And I tried to explain that. Let's see. Just reading some of you guys' stuff. Rich says, Christopher says, color and lighting look crisp. Color and lighting, like, to me, that's the Frostbite engine at its best. The lighting, the smoke, the fireworks, the crowd, all of that is Frostbite. I don't think Frostbite is even touched in gameplay. I don't know, but I don't think the Frostbite engine is in the gameplay, so to speak. What's up, Reggie? Shot Nation, stand up. That's right. Sim Football Critic says I feel like stuff should be turned on. Definitely, like, all that stuff should be turned on, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Yo, Puget Zoo, appreciate that, man. You said that the video was fine. I don't know if it was fine or not, but I appreciate that. Can you access EA Access on PlayStation? No, unfortunately, it's an Xbox only thing, which is crazy. But I understand, you know, EA has a partnership with Xbox, so definitely understand that. Clint basically said on comp, no injuries and no option to turn it on. Yeah, we'll get to that when we talk about game styles and CFM. No flickering camera, says Remy Martin. Nah, definitely not. Yeah, I agree with you, 1DTP. CFM should be any game style, and you adjust the setting as you go. Now, one of the things, and might as well go ahead and talk about that now, because we're going to get into every aspect of this trailer. So we might as well just go ahead and get into the game styles plus CFM blog. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's got to be, it should be an option. CFM should be any game style, and you adjust the settings. Chris says sim, but Clint also said to do that, you should play sim play style and turn up catch and sliders. But Chris, I will say that Rex came in and said it's not as easy as just changing the sliders. And it is exactly the way I thought it was. And he kind of confirmed that those settings are done via tuner sets. They're not done via sliders. So you can adjust the sliders, but you're still not going to get to a point where where you can take the sim game style, adjust the sliders, and then all of a sudden you're playing competitive style. It's a tuner set. It's not sliders. You can adjust the sliders, but I don't think that is how that is. So and Rex kind of confirmed that. I wish I should have just, if you go to my timeline, and I know there was a lot of conversation today, so you probably won't find that, but I'll try to find it for you guys and post that in an upcoming video. What's up, Sports Gamer Online? I see you lurking, just lurking in here. So what is the best style to use for CFM? I think it all depends on what you use. I think it all depends on what your CFM is and what you plan on doing with it. Now, let's just go ahead and talk about simulation and competitive mode, and we'll talk about how that impacts, CFM. Now, of course, simulation is the authentic NFL experience. This is the game style plays true to player and team ratings. I think that's important to note, and NFL rules. This game style includes all supported penalties, injuries, and other random outcomes you see every Sunday. The players on your roster and schemes you employ will be critical to success when playing simulation. This is the game mode for players that are fans of football and want to play a game that's true to form. Simulation is the default style for connected franchise. So even though it's the default style, you can change it to arcade. You can have an arcade CFM if you want. You can change it to arcade, simulation, or competitive, but the default is simulation. When do you expect the top 10 lists to start rolling out? Asked Chad. You mean the top 10 ratings? I actually think they're going to roll out sometime Friday. I think you're going to hear it roll out sometimes Friday. Antonio Carter says, it is a tuning thing, so you can tune each mode without affecting others. You can just tune one at a certain time. Yeah, that's the reason why they broke it up. They broke it up into these 3 modes so that if one mode or one group was starting to, feel a certain way about something, they could adjust it. Sim Football says this will all be personal preference. I will be playing on Sim, but that's just my preference. If you hear Rex speak in all of Sim's interviews in the past few years, he said they are looking to make Madden an authentic football simulation, and to do that, he has to find a way to force folks to play simulation. CFM should be sim. I don't necessarily agree that CFM should be sim. To me, I think that's sort of what I've been saying all along, and I think I said it a couple of weeks ago on my show. I sort of hate is a strong word, but I sort of dislike the fact that Rex has come out and said, oh, well, CFM is for sim guys. Like sim guys only. Like there's no other type of guys who play CFM. To me, CFM is all about the immersion and everything that goes with playing in a franchise. Has nothing to do with game style. Game style is separate from these modes, or at least they should be separate from these modes. And Antonio says, comp is for attorneys and mutt, bottom line. I hear what you're saying, but you're saying that because that's what Rex has said, and that's what people are led to believe. But I know for a fact that a lot of tourney guys, a lot of competitive guys, and when I say competitive, I'm not saying that sim guys aren't competitive. I'm saying, let's just use tourney guys. A lot of tournament guys or guys who would play in tournaments to compete for money actually have CFM leagues. And I think that's the biggest misnomer, is that CFM is only for sim guys and should be only for sim guys. ML says we paid $61.20, so CFM, you should be able to adjust it to your liking. Preference is key. Swim in your own fish bowl, like Azura says all the time. Right, Azura, mad scientist, always say, find your fish bowl and swim in it. Find your fish bowl and swim in it. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that, CFM is a mode, and simulation style, arcade style, competitive style is a game style. And so because they done it like that, so now when people play CFM but they want a competitive style CFM, they're playing with no injuries. And that's what I have sort of an issue with. you know. And a lot of people are like, yo, you haven't even played the game. How can you say, you know, that they should have this, or that you want them to change this and you haven't played the game? And I'm just like, I don't need to play the game. If I told you that competitive style had fatigue, but simulation style didn't have fatigue, you wouldn't be like, you would feel offended if I said, well, play the game. You know, fatigue might not even matter that much. Just play the game. Or you know fatigue matters. It matters in CFM. And it matters in football. And I understand that when you're playing competitive football, there's no fatigue, no penalties, nothing like that. But when you're playing in a CFM, you want that CFM experience. And for those who still want to have that CFM experience, but have it where the user skill is front and center, they're not going to be able to do that because there's no injuries. And if there's no injuries, then guess what? There's no need for backups. And if there's no need for backups, then there's no reason to draft or build up your backups or put guys on practice squads and do all of this, because it doesn't matter. Those guys are never coming into the game. So how are you supposed to build somebody up if they never come into the game? To me, having no injuries in competitive style football makes it so that you're really not playing a CFM. You're really not playing a CFM. So that's my opinion on it. And again, it's just my opinion. And for real, I play in mostly sim leagues. I have played in competitive style, you know, leagues before, but most of my styles are most of my leagues are sim that I play in. But that doesn't mean that I can't take up for these competitive guys, for these guys who play CFM and love CFM just as much as I do, but they want it on a competitive setting. Like, I see nothing wrong with fighting for those guys too. You know, like I said, it's not about them being competitive. It's about them wanting to play a CFM that caters to what they're going to be, what the game style that they like to play in, but still be a CFM. And if you don't have injuries, to me, that's not a CFM. It's not a CFM if you don't have injuries. But that's just me. And I'm with you, Brooklyn Bully. I feel like, and I'm with you too. I said something about that as well. Why is the competitive setting in every mode, but simulation is not in every mode? Meaning, I asked Jake Stein last week, I said, can you search for a head-to-head ranked game or a head-to-head game by just selecting simulation? And he said no. So to me, you can't even play regular head-to-head games, unranked or ranked, because there's no way to search for them. So there are no simulation head-to-head unranked or ranked games, and to me, that's an issue too. That's an issue that a lot of people aren't really talking about, because it hasn't really been put out there like that. Like, I found out about it last week just because I started asking questions, just because I started putting 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, hold on. If I can't search for a simulation unranked game, to me, then that tells me that I can't even play a simulation online game head to head. And that simulation is only in CFM, which is sort of what Rex has been talking about, that CFM is made for the sim guys. Because actually, that's the only thing that's made for the sim guys. I mean, it's except for Play Now. I mean, if you want to play now and play your buddy, you know, sitting on the same couch, y'all can play simulation. But you can't play simulation ranked or unranked. Antonio Carter says comp mode should have been called tourney or MUT mode for real. I don't think it should have been called MUT mode. You could have probably gotten away with calling it tourney mode. And then, which is why I agree with CFM being renamed the authentic NFL experience and make it sim and leave it at that. So actually, let's go ahead and talk about the competitive. So competitive is all about head-to-head competition and tournament play. This is where user stick skills are king and create certain outcomes, and certain outcomes will be heavily weighted based on game situations and rating thresholds. Penalties are limited, there are no injuries, and random outcomes are rare. Executing gameplay mechanics and making the right reads dictate success when playing competitive EA, competitive gaming events, and ranked online game modes will be set to this style by default. Be ready for some trash talk. This is where the Madden hardcore reside. Now, of course, I have a problem with that last line. Like, this is where the Madden hardcore resides. So I'm not a hardcore Madden guy because I don't play competitive mode. I don't feel like that. Like to me, if I'm marketing, like, I would be like, okay, you can say be ready for some trash talk, and that's it. Don't put in this is where Madden hardcore resides, because there's nothing more hardcore than CFM. CFM has probably the hardcore guys, you know, that play CFM. But I feel like all Madden guys can be hardcore. It doesn't matter if you're competitive, if you're a sim guy or a tourney guy. You can be a Madden hardcore guy. What's up, K Watts? How you doing? If you haven't done so already, guys, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. You may have a shot at winning a free copy of Madden NFL 18 and NBA Live 18. That's what I do. I'm giving out at least 2 copies of each. At least 2 copies of each. ML says it's the first year that's being tested. I agree. It's the first year, so who knows? Who knows? I'm good, K Watts. Can't complain, man. Can't complain. What about Draft Champions mode for Madden 18? What about it, Ordaz? I mean, it's going to be there. I feel like it's funny because if you ask competitive guys which mode they like to play, you know, whether it's MUT, Draft Champions, or Salary Cap, most of those guys, most of the tourney guys will tell you they like playing Salary Cap the most. And here's why I think that is so. Because Salary Cap allows you to sort of do some things. Yo, appreciate that, Denzel Lee. Welcome to Shop Nation. Appreciate that. Appreciate you joining. But a lot of tourney guys say they love Salary Cap mode because it makes the teams even. You don't have to worry about somebody being super overpowered just because they got better cards than you. Yes, I agree, HTO. NBA Live 18 needs a Draft Champions mode. Like, if NBA Live 18 had a Draft Champions mode, that would be hot. Yo, appreciate that, ML. 1DTP. Appreciate you joining Shop Nation. Big time contributor to this chat. I've been reading your stuff. Who wrote this, Chris? This is EA that wrote this right here. A lot of tourney dudes don't play CFM. Problem is one for sure that don't. I mean, just because Problem doesn't doesn't mean that tourney guys don't play CFM. There are CFMs that give out big time money at the end of the season for Super Bowls, and it's sort of like a season long tournament where they advance every day, and you got to play every day, and then at the end of the season they give out, you know, $1,000, $700. There's some big time competitive CFM. So I don't want to hear, oh, tourney guys don't play CFM. That's no, just no tourney guys that you know that play CFM. And I guarantee you, if you was to if look, let me tell you something. If EA was to say, "Yo, we want to get the top tourney guys and have them play in a CFM, and we're gonna give the winner, I don't know, $15,000." You don't think they would play CFM? They play where the money is at. So, you know. What's up, Iran 1221? Hoping Live 18 has a CFM mode. Yeah, I mean that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it that way. They're trying to get Live up to the point where Madden is right now. K Watt says CFM greater than everything else. Remy says, yeah, they misplayed that one. CFM is the loyal fan base. I feel like CFM guys are like NBA Live guys. No, seriously, hear me out on this. You know, NBA Live fans, real fans of the NBA Live franchise who have stuck through them when they couldn't get a title up, when they put out a title and then said, yeah, nah, we're not going to do one this year. The fans who have stuck through NBA Live, you know, 15 and 16, and not having a 17. So it's the same thing with CFM guys. You know, CFM guys are loyal. They're going to play what they have, but they want more. They expect more. And right now, they're just not getting it. They're just not getting it. And it's no, you know, and I don't think it's one of those things where, oh, well, the CFM community doesn't really speak up or speak out. I don't think so at all. I think it's just, like Rex said, it's a matter of resources, putting it somewhere else. You know, it's funny. For Madden 16, was it Madden 16? Yeah, for Madden 16, man, they made a lot of upgrades. Now, to me, I thought a lot of it was UI stuff. Or maybe that was Madden 17. A lot of it was just UI stuff. Yeah, Madden 17 with the, you know, big decisions and all of that stuff. I felt like a lot of it was just cosmetic. So I was expecting a lot of nitty gritty stuff this year. A lot, I was happy with 17, but again, you know, when you tell me this is the most amount of changes you made to CFM in a long time, I mean, that's really not saying nothing, but then most of those things are just a better way of displaying those. And don't get me wrong, it's something that they needed to do. They needed to find a better way to display that. Just like I feel like they still need to find a better way to display CFM. But they made a lot of graphical upgrades to the menus and stuff. And so I really thought this year that they were really going to, really going to step in and put in a lot of the little stuff. And I feel like EA could just put in little stuff, and that's why we're going to talk about ranking your priority on the CFMmovement.com website. If you are not signed up to CFMmovement.com, go ahead and do that now. Shop, this may be a stupid question, but do you work for EA? No, actually, that's not a stupid question at all. But I don't work for EA. It's funny because people ask me that all the time. Do you work for EA? And I'm like, no, I don't work for EA. I say I'm a consultant. I get consulted sometimes. I consult EA sometimes. They bring me in for consulting stuff. Shop, if you create an unranked game and invite a friend, can you set those games to sim style? That's a good question. I'm not sure if you can. I would hope that you could, though. I would hope that you should be able to. But again, I asked Jake Stein, who works on the online portion of Madden, and I asked him if you could search games via unranked, and he said no. So I'm thinking that you won't be able to do that either. Thunder Gaming, do you vape? No. Does that mean smoking? Does that mean like the little electronic smoking. That's what vaping is, right? I don't know. I'm old. You see the gray. I don't know. I'm hoping the marketing are watching this because CFM needs an upgrade so they can focus on a MUT CFM and draft CFM, and everybody will be happy. Haven't played NBA Live since PS3 days, but I'm planning on getting it. That's what's up. Christopher, yo, appreciate you signing up. Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. I have some questions that may be able to help me out with that are not stream related. No problem. Yeah, hit me up on Twitter. You can find me at Shopmaster on Twitter. I'm good there. All right, so is there anything else in this blog that we need to talk about? All right, let's talk about these breakdowns real quick because Sim Football, you must be drinking out that EA cup again. Nah, my man Sim Football is straight. It's straight. Yo, appreciate that, Cam Fuse. Appreciate that follow, man. Appreciate that follow on Twitch. All right, so guys, yo, got another follow. Yo, appreciate that follow. We got Kelly hit him ups. Appreciate that follow. So somebody asked me today, what are the main differences between simulation and competitive? And to me, it's very easy. You know, simulation is more geared to what you see on NFL Sundays, the randomness, quarterback has a clean pocket, but he still overthrows his wide receiver. You know, his wide receiver is wide open, coming across the middle, hits him right in his hands, and he drops it. Like, those are the things you see on Sundays, and those are the things you'll see in simulation. You won't see those things in competitive mode. You won't see, if a guy is wide open and you throw it to him, he's going to catch it. He's going to catch it. If he has good catch ratings, he's going to catch it. The one thing that I saw also was that if you throw it to a defensive guy, he's going to pick it if he has good hands. So that's definitely something too. And also the other one I heard was that if the computer AI doesn't have a big hitter trait, he cannot hit stick. Only those with big hitter traits can hit stick. All right, Sim, I appreciate you stopping by, man. Like I said, guys, check out my man Sim F-Ball Critic. Follow him on Twitter at the same name. Check him out on YouTube. Sim Football Critic also breaks down a lot of this Madden stuff. Real big Madden heads over here. Paper CSGO says, will you sell your channel? I know how we can make a shit ton of money. No, I'm not gonna sell my channel. I love my channel. I've been building it up, and I'm not gonna sell it. I mean, for what? Like, then I would have to find another way to talk to you guys, and this is my way to talk to you guys. All right, so like I said, like this first bullet where it says for competitive, going for an interception with a wide open defensive player who has a good catch rating leads to a significantly lower chance of them dropping the ball. Here's my thing. This is what I've been wanting for a while. If I'm usering that guy, I want to be able to, like, if I have good catch rates, I want to be able to catch it 100% of the time. I understand, that he is, that DBs don't catch it all the time, but if I'm using him, I want to catch it all the time. All right, let's go ahead. Yay Rat, appreciate the follow. Welcome to Shop Nation. Let's go ahead and move on to our next one, which is target passing. So a lot of people kind of getting confused about what target passing is and what it can do. To me, target passing is going to be a difference maker. Now, they sort of added some different things to target passing, and we'll take a look at. Let me see if I can can't play this video, can I? Oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna play this video. I'm sorry. I'm gonna play this video, and I'm gonna show you some of the things within target passing that you can do. All right, so let's just bring this up real quick. All right, so you see here, you see the X receiver right here. You see the orange icon, which is where if you throw the ball, that's where the ball is going to go. Now, you see the other X icon, which is past the mark. So that means that when you throw the ball, that receiver coming across the middle will be right there when that ball gets there. Target passing is going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be hard. I'm telling you that right now. Target passing is going to be hard. You're gonna have to practice it. You're gonna have to get in the lab and, you know, just try it. And I agree with you guys, Gray and Chris. You know, all players drop passes sometimes, but target passing is going to be difficult. And if you don't practice, I can just see a lot of guys trying it and then be like, no, you know what? I don't need it. I'm not going to use it. And I'm with you, Burgundies. I think target passing will mostly be used in the red zone. But I think those who put in the time learning it will be able to do some things that you're going to be like, dang, I need to go back into the lab and figure out this target passing. Because people are going to send their running backs out into the flat and then clear out that side and then throw it up the field. And you're going to be like, he wasn't on the wheel route. No, he wasn't on a wheel route. But because he threw it up the field, it made that route a wheel route. And so that's one of the things that I really see people are going to do. Back shoulder throws in the end zone. But the good thing is shading is working this year. So you'll be able to shade inside or outside. So if you think they're going to throw a back shoulder throw, you can just shade to the outside and cut that back shoulder off. Burgundy says, I think target passing will mostly be used in the red zone. Okay. K Watt says, I can tell I won't like target passing. I'm more of a player that likes to rely on ratings, so simulation for me. Target passing doesn't have anything to do with the game styles. It doesn't have anything to do with the game style. So you can do target passing on simulation mode, simulation style. Back shoulder is going to be broken play this year. I don't know if it's going to be a broken play this year. I think people will sort of say, you know what, I just need to take this away. This is probably a moment that he's going to try to back shoulder. Let me just take that away, because I think unless you practice target passing, you're not going to be able to do it consistently like you want it. And for the most part, if you don't throw it consistently and you throw it wrong, you're going to throw an interception. I can see a lot of people trying target passing and throwing lots of interceptions in doing that. But yeah, I can definitely see it being useful in the red zone. It's going to be very hard, especially when players use cover 2 and 3 on most defensive plays. I mean, yeah, it could. It could. I mean, again, it's going to be hard anyways because of the way it is. Now, you got to remember, you're going to be holding down the left trigger and then moving the target with your left stick. This means that your quarterback is going to be standing still. You're not going to be able to run with your quarterback and move the target the way you want to. Now, I'm telling you, I feel like this is going to happen where guys are going to run out the pocket and then use, the target to sort of get them a little bit extra space. Is shading an individual adjustment or a DB's adjustment? So you can use shading as an individual adjustment. So you could say, you know what, I want to shade, the Z receiver out. I want to shade, the tight end inside. You can do a number of things with shading. It's not just all DBs. It's not a group adjustment, I guess, if that's what you're talking about. Smitty Met says target passing should be lethal for A-Rod and Brady, but useless for Geno Smith or Blaine Gabbert. Now, I agree with this. It should be, but will it? One of the things that I gave feedback at EA is I would love to see guys like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, that target system not be so loose. I think that's one of the biggest things that you're going to see is when you first use it, man, that target system is going to be so loose. You can be 5 yards away from you and at the flick of a stick all the way up the field. So I think it should be tightened, more tightened for better quarterbacks. If you have better accuracy, I do know if you have better accuracy, the target is your passes will be more on point. Will target passing be in CFM? Yes, it will be in CFM. It's not tied to a particular game style. DK says target passing seems a lot of thinking that can lead to missed timing in your throws. I was hoping it would be tuned better with just using the LS button based on QB's accuracy ratings. Yes, I'm with you. I think it's going to lead to a lot of missed throws. But remember, and I really thought that before they brought in the receiver indicator icon. At EA Play, they didn't have this icon, this other X icon on the field. It was just the receiver and the target icon. Then they added this target icon so you could see exactly where the receiver is going to be in relation to the orange target icon. And to me, that lessens the skill gap. That lessens the skill gap. If I can wait and say, okay, I know he's going to be right there, let me throw it now. Instead of before where you had to almost guess, okay, he's coming across the middle, when should he be there? Like, to me, that skill gap was hard. And I kind of wish they go back to that. Maybe later on they can implement of moving the QB, but I am getting ahead of myself. I mean, Chris, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any problem with making those suggestions. But I'm with you. I think people are going to be shocked because a lot of people, if you watch a lot of people play Madden, they don't stand still. They don't stand still in the pocket. And so now the fact that you're going to have to stand still with maybe heat coming your way, but I think it builds pocket awareness. We'll see. I've heard a few guys mention lurking with the MLB not being effective this year. Any thoughts on that? So Darain, yeah, my thoughts on that is that now you won't be able to hold Y button or triangle to just hold down ball hawk. The fact that you're going to have to time the ball hawk is or time the button press. And if you hold it, while you're trying to run, it's going to slow you down. So yeah, being that middle linebacker is not going to be as effective. I still think it's going to be effective, especially with certain linebackers and their speed. But I don't think it's going to be as effective, especially now if you can pinpoint throws back shoulder. Like, for instance, if a wide receiver, let's say a wide receiver is coming across the middle and they just cleared the zone and he's about to go into the middle linebacker zone, you can just throw it back shoulder and it'll make that receiver sort of sit down in that zone and catch the ball. So I like that. I like the ability for a quarterback to make the receiver sit in the middle of a zone and not lead him into the zone. There's a lot of times where you're like, oh man, I need to throw it to him, but he's going into another zone. If I could only throw it back shoulders. Were people complaining at EA Play about not being able to hit with target passing? I'm pretty sure they were. because it was definitely a difficult. It definitely is a difficult adjustment using target passing at EA Play, because again they didn't have that other indicator that we see on the screen right now. They didn't have that second X where you could see exactly where the receiver was going to be. So, you know, if chemistries were involved, which probably will, route runners and target passing is going to be key in CFM. Chemistries is something that I'm definitely interested in, something that I definitely have talked to the devs about. Because I think if they add chemistries to CFM, it definitely